Hey there guys, welcome back to ARTFX Studios. This is a video where I wanted to talk about a new synth that I got. I'm probably gonna use it in the hardcore challenge, and I think it's gonna be really good for that. Now, the synth I'm gonna be talking about is Papen. Papen, I don't know how you wanna call it, Papen. It's called RAW, and it's really awesome. I mean, it's not called RAW for nothing. This synth is built around distortion, and that's why I really like it. It's definitely aimed at more heavier genres, stuff like hardcore, hardstyle, but I guess drum and bass could also be a really great one to use this on. Now, I prepared a little bit already, and I got this little clip right here, just playing a little arpeggiated melody kind of thing on a G minor, and that sounds like this. So that sounds nice. Now, the greatest thing about RAW is this is actually one of the presets, but I kind of like just deleted everything and started just from the basic waves. So it's this saw wave, and it's this user wave, which is kind of like a square wave. I guess it works, it sounds nice, so those two together create that kind of sound. Now, if you are not familiar with the way this works, you have two oscillators, so this oscillator 1 and oscillator 2, and below that you actually have a dedicated distortion module. So there's actually a distortion module on the oscillator. So that's really amazing. This synth is built around distortion, and you have, in total, you have 5 distortion modules in this synth, and that's really great. So you might even have more. No, there's 5. So you have the oscillators, oscillator 1 and 2, which are running into the filter. And normally you would run your oscillators through filter, and then you would apply distortion to that afterwards, and sort of like shape the sound and make it more gritty. However, in this synth, you can put distortion on the oscillators before they are going into the filter. So you can actually make the sound even more richer and more grittier before taking off some of that grittiness again with the filter. And the greatest thing is that then after the filter you have an additional wave shaper distortion and lo-fi distortion. So you get an additional 3 distortion modules after the filter as well. So it's kind of like you have on certain synths, on UE Zebra for instance, there are these oscillator effects. You know, there's all kinds of oscillator effects where you can change the phase and stuff like that. This is kind of like that, where you have an oscillator effect, and in this particular case a distortion effect on the oscillators itself, which will let you change the sound of just that particular saw wave. I mean, because this distortion will affect the saw wave, and this distortion will affect the user wave, which in this case is kind of like a pulse or a square wave. So it will affect just that waveform alone, and then the combined signal of those two waveforms will be running through the filter, and that will then run through the other distortions. So it's a really interesting concept. And the other thing why I feel this is really helpful and really great is the fact that they've included 2 EQs, one before the distortion and one after the distortion. Now, that in my opinion is really powerful, because you get this pre-EQ and post-EQ, and you can have them both. You can actually put an EQ in front of the distortion with some really loud resonant peaks, and which will really, you know, change the way the distortion is going to sound and is going to act upon the signal what you put into it. But you can really boost these before going into distortion. The distortion will actually chop them off again, will actually, you know, act as a limiter most likely, and then you can have an additional EQ to shape the sound after the distortion. So for this sound, I got this little thing, and to really demonstrate what RAW can do is I'm gonna apply a little bit of FM to this. So I'm gonna turn the FM on, kind of like change it to that. Now I've got a new MIDI controller and I mapped some controls to the MIDI controller, and if I switch over to my rack, you can actually see I've got some controls down here that do stuff. So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm gonna bring up the FM amount. So the FM amount is up here, and if I bring that amount up, so it really makes it sound much more grittier, and in my opinion, the FM really sounds good in this synth. It's not a really complex and versatile FM. You know, you don't get all these different options and stuff that you get with a normal FM synth, but the functionality or the sound that you get with this FM kind of option is really nice. It does sound really gritty, and I guess the FM could be used as sort of like another form of distortion. So yeah, this synth is just all about distortion, and that's why I think it's a really original kind of thing. I haven't really seen much synths like this, so you know, it's kind of like a different thing. It's kind of like a different take on the normal subtractive synth, and yeah, that's really cool. So the next thing to talk about is definitely these two RAW knobs down here at oscillators. The RAW knobs are basically just the amounts of distortion that are applied on the oscillator. Now you can see these two sliders are brought up, so that means that this LFO is controlling the amount on this RAW knob, but right now we don't hear anything because I haven't brought it up yet. So it just sounds like that. And when I start bringing that up, I have two knobs mapped to those RAW knobs, so I can just control that as well. So we can apply a lot of distortion to those two oscillators. Now, the best thing is yet to come, and that's when you actually start using these XY graphs. And I've mapped 4 controls on my new MIDI controller, and I mapped them to these particular knobs right here. And we can just start playing with this, and let's just try and find a cool sound with this. See how many different options we can get out of this single patch using just the distortion on the oscillators. Listen. So you can hear that just by playing with that distortion, you can get so many different sounds out of just one patch. Now, this is just one particular patch. I mean, I've just loaded up one random one from the patch library, and there's so many patches in here, and you know, and you can just play with this. And I mean, there's so many options. There's so many distortion types. I mean, you've got all these different distortions down here. Oh, nice. You can actually get to the defaults right there. You've got a wave shaper. There's these, of course, a modulation matrix. You've got additional LFOs and envelopes, so that's really helpful as well. You've got effects down here, chorus, flanges, phases, a reverb and a delay, so that's pretty damn cool as well. We could apply some reverb to it. And is there a MIDI learn in this? That would be pretty cool. There's no MIDI learn, I guess. And if I latch, okay, that works. So that's your MIDI learn. Right clicking on a knob and then latch to MIDI. So now I should be able to now I can actually play around with the reverb as well. So so yeah, you can definitely get a lot of stuff from just this synth. I don't know, it just the fact that this synth works different than most synths will just end up in a whole bunch of new sounds. Every time I start using synths that I've never used before, I always end up with new stuff, and that's just because the layout and the features of the synth are different. So yeah, that's why I always like new synths. But a lot of the synths, or most synths, you know, are just too simple for me, or just too you know, I don't really need basic stuff. I need stuff that's complicated. I need stuff that lets me do stuff that I normally can do with just native Ableton Live stuff. And you know, a lot of stuff I can do with Ableton Live, you know, and I don't need another subtractive synth that just does subtractive synthesis, you know. I don't need another synth like that. But a synth like this, which applies distortion at 5 particular places in the signal chain, yeah, that's really, really interesting. Now, just to finish this up, there are a whole bunch of preset banks in here, and they're preset banks by really, really famous hardstyle producers, hardcore producers as well. We can just go through a few of them if you want. We have all these interesting sounds. Let's see. Oh, that's another cool feature, by the way. You can see this thing going on right here. I can change the speed of that if you want. And what you can do is you can actually just click that record button and then press play or hold a note, and while you do that you move this knob, you move that little you move that dial right here, and it will record what you've done. And if you then switch to the play mode, you can see I now done that, so I can actually go into the record, do something like this, and that's how you can really change this up. So you can see it's just really intuitive. I can change the loop mode, maybe do something like that. So you can really create interesting stuff with it. And I mean, the sounds in it are pretty damn cool as well. I mean, there's a lot of the sounds, just the patches sound good. Yeah, I can see this working in a lot of tracks. Definitely hardcore hardstyle, but also drum and bass. Now there's quite some interesting preset banks in here. Deep Passion. A lot of you guys who listen to hardstyle will know this guy. Some good Super Saw patches, which my CPU doesn't really like right now. Let's see, what else do we got? There's probably some cool... Man, that's cool. That's amazing. There's preset banks by, let's see, DJ Hidden, which is drum and bass artist. Some really weird sounds. Let's see, we have DJ Mad Dog, which a lot of you guys probably know. Some really cool sounds in here. Oh. Oh my god, that's just instant fucking... I don't even know the name of the track, but I heard it before. It's a track that I heard a lot during my youth. But yeah, the synth, it sounds really amazing. There's a lot of presets in here, and let's see, we have DJ Predator, DJ Promo. I liked Promo back in the day a lot. Wow. Amazing sounds, actually. There's sounds in here that... stuff like that. I wouldn't even know where to begin to synthesize this within, for instance, a synth like Serum or anything like that. I mean, most likely I'll get to it when I will try, but damn. This synth is just amazing. I really like the sound of it. Let's see, what else do we got? Ophidian. Pretty nice producer as well. So yeah, that's just mostly aimed at hardcore hardstyle, what you'll find in here, but there's a lot of possibilities with this synth. We've got the playa. Oh yeah, there's some. There's already some pre-made kick drums in here as well. I'm not too sure on all of them, but there's definitely some cool ones in there. And I see a preset called Sledgehammer. Look, that's why I like a synth like this. It has really cool stuff. Tommy Knocker. There's probably some guys in here that I don't even know, but yeah, it's a cool little thing. Now, just to show you how many presets are actually in here, these are basically all the banks, and in all these banks there's all these presets. So yeah, there's a lot in this, really a lot, and we can go through all of these if we want, but I'm not gonna be doing that right now. This video is already 25 minutes. Now, I hope this has shown you just a little bit about this synth and why it is a really interesting one. Next to all the stuff that you've got, of course, I have to say, it's a damn powerful synth. I don't know. Yeah, if you don't like the the complicated look of the synth, you can always go to this easy mode, which shows you just the main basic parameters. Shows you a gator as well. Where is the gator in the... Kind of wondering where that gator is. Maybe it's just part of the arpeggiator, I'm not sure. Because we don't have an arpeggiator right here, so I guess it's just the gator, maybe. Let's see what happens if I turn on the arp. Damn. Now, let's see. I was checking. No, it's not. Interesting. So you have some sort of a gate down there, a rhythmic gate on the easy tab, which is not on the main tab. I might be missing something. It might be somewhere hidden in this whole view, in this plugin. I'm not completely sure. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting synth. Now, I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of videos in the future about the synth. I think I'm going to use it during the hardcore challenge as well. So I'm probably going to be making some sounds in this. Maybe even make a preset bank for this synth as well while I'm at it. So expect more videos like that soon. So In the next video, I'll be looking at a MIDI controller that I've been using during this video. I'm going to be showing you a little bit about that MIDI controller. I'm going to be showing you how it works and how I can see me using it. Now, other than that, the competition that I was doing in the last week, the competition where you could win 2 products from Loopmasters has ended. So you don't have to submit your email anymore. The winner of the competition will be getting an email shortly with a download link to those products, and they will be able to get those products and download them. There's going to be another hardcore challenge video soon where we're going to be working a little bit on the track, going to be seeing what I'm going to do. I'm kind of like thinking a little bit about what I want to do with my track, but you can win prizes with that challenge. Just go to my channel, look up the hardcore challenge. There's a playlist, and the first video in that playlist completely describes what this challenge is all about. But what I want you to do is to create a hardcore track, and I've had people asking stuff, does it really need to be hardcore? Can it also be hardstyle? What I really advise you to do, or what I think would be at least the best for you to do to be as original as possible, is to take the genre of hardcore and then take the genre that you normally produce, so that can be anything, and then combine these two into something new. So if you want to make hardstyle, combine hardcore with hardstyle. If you want to make drum and bass, combine hardcore with drum and bass. The thing is, the track needs to be hardcore oriented, but you can you can feed any kind of thing into it as long as the main genre of the track is hardcore. But you can incorporate all kinds of styles in there and get totally crazy. Now, the winner of that competition will get all of the products on my website. So they will get all my products from my web store, and yeah, I just think that's a cool prize for you guys to win, right? So if you want to win something like that, you definitely check out that video, and keep checking this channel, because the deadline will be coming soon, and well, will be announced soon, don't you worry. In case somebody just started freaking out because they hadn't even started yet. Now, the deadline will be announced in most likely a few weeks from now. I still need to start the track myself, so take your time. Don't worry, you don't have to really hurry to finish your track. Now, other than that, I don't really have anything left to say. This video has already become a little bit long, but I don't really mind. So yeah, that's it, and I hope to see you back soon. Peace.